She ate.
A few hours ago. I'm gonna give it a second. Ooh, in fact, y'all. One thing about this camera, you can see it all. Hey guys, I promised that I would go live for a little bit to briefly run through how I effectively produce a whole bunch of milk. So I'm gonna give it like 30, 40, 50 more seconds, not minutes. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Hey Zion, I miss you too, Sweet Pea. I'm gonna give it a little bit to allow people a little bit of time to join me. In the meantime, I will steal a little bit of camera time with my little baby in just a second while I wait for just a few more people to hop on with me. I promise I won't keep you long. I won't take all night, all day long. And I promise to be forthcoming with all my information. Can you hand it to me? While I wait for just a second, I may as well show off my little reason for breastfeeding. This is, am I about to preach, Elder? Preach on breastfeeding. That's about it. Oh, you laugh too? Is that funny? So this is my little one. My newest one. I still say she does look at least a little something like me. Say hey, Paris. Say hey. Okay. You left me one of those bottles, right?
Yes.
Oh, where is it?
It's right behind.
Okay. Okay. So I won't take all day. Feel free to share my video. I thank you. I promise I will be quick. So I get a lot of questions about from moms who really want to know how in the heck do I make so much milk at any given time. And I will tell you, it's really not very hard. So I have like one of my bottles. I just sent my husband upstairs with the other one, but like this is just a one-time kind of pumping. This is actually my weaker side. And I know that because my other side always has more. So I don't know why he grabbed the one with more, but whatever. And this is about 6 ounces or so like that. This is not even me at my max, but this about or more, this is my left side, my right side, left side produce usually about 6 to 12 ounces at a time. I haven't really gotten up to the point where I can reach 12 ounces just yet, but I know that I'll get there probably soon the more that she eats. So I put together a list of notes so I will not take all day. And if you see me looking off to the side, that's why. Again, going live, like talking on camera and stuff like that is really not my thing. So if I stumble or whatever have you, just have to get over it. I hope everybody's staying safe in mid pandemic, and I hope that little Paris can cooperate for just a second. So I guess before I even get into like sharing like how and what all of I do, I've had people, particularly sometimes you get church folks who are like, oh my God, you know, why are you breastfeeding? And I have a couple of reasons like why I decide to breastfeed. Number one, it's antibodies. Antibodies are everything. Your body makes antibodies. It's full of them. It's stock full of them. It's chock full of them, and it's good for your baby. Your body is a microbiome consisting of all the germs that you need that are healthy and bad for your body. Okay. You need good and bad germs in order to be able to build a good microbiome. And so when you are pregnant with baby, your body is literally storing up and building all of the antibodies. And when you produce starting from colostrum on down, you provide that to your baby and give this to her. Hey, Kiara, I have to shout Kiara out. That is my dear friend. She is my favorite doctor in the world. Since we're talking about breast health anyway, I'll be sure to share her video on how you do your self-check with your breast. She's got a really cute little video that made it like over 1 million views on the Shade Room. But anyway, antibodies. It is everything for a baby. She needs it. He needs it. Go ahead and make sure that you breastfeed, because you want to be able to give your baby lots and lots of antibodies. It's a natural protection from all things germs, all things nasty outside in the world. Number 2, and I also wanted to say I also wanted to say that my baby number 2, who's Julian, seriously, I know a lot of stuff, like I'm not a medical professional or anything like that at all, but one of the things that you should note, or that I noted, but like all the old school mamas would tell me, my baby literally never gets sick. Julia is like the healthiest of my children so far, for sure. So antibodies. Like, look it up, research it. Kelly Mom and La Leche League are like my favorite places to look it up. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I do not have all the research expertise on all of this stuff, but by far, look it up and know that it is true. It really does help. Also, I believe that research also tells us that moms may or may not be more likely to not suffer from breast cancer if you breastfeed. And like anybody, if you see the research or evidence for that, feel free to post it in the comments or correct me if I need correcting. Number 2, sis, you're gonna lose weight, okay? I don't care what nobody say. I know that a whole bunch of people will probably tell you that there's no actual evidence or proof that you're going to lose weight or whatever have you. But it is true that you can pull off up to like 500 calories or something like that a day. And I can't tell you like that it's 100% evidence-based, but I can definitely say that pulling weight off of me with breastfeeding, like it seemed to me that it worked. Now I know I'm not have lost the weight just yet, but I'm giving myself some grace because I'm only 2 weeks postpartum or whatever have you. Yep, decreased risk of breast cancer with nursing. So there you have it from Dr. Kiara King. Her name right here. You can see her in the comments. It is doctor in front of her name, so I am right. She's a fabulous and wonderful blogger, fashion blogger, and OBGYN, so she knows what she's talking about. Thanks, Key. And so I know for a fact that it helps me to be able to lose a little bit of my baby weight. I wholly support breastfeeding for that reason, if nothing else. And number 3, there are 1,000 more reasons, of course, but my favorite, absolute number 1 reason why I love breastfeeding is because it's free. It is free. Expensive is not even the word when it comes to formula. And I have a contrary, I'm not one of the moms who is just like, oh my God, you can't do anything but breastfeed because breast is best. I'm not that mom. I was the mom that had a NICU born child and lost my supply very quickly because of some postpartum issues and along with some postpartum depression and whatnot that I was suffering. Shout out to people who talk about mental health and mental therapy. We need it because it is a silent killer among postpartum women. So I had a lot of issues with postpartum depression. I had a lot of issues with my supply, with my first baby, and I just absolutely could not breastfeed Drake. And I will say that probably that is what gave me my drive to be able to go ahead and breastfeed with Julian. I was determined, and that is one of the things, like I didn't have it here in my list, whatever have you, but drive is definitely one of the things that you're going to need on your cheat sheet for making sure that you breastfeed. I wanted it like I wanted Jesus, okay? Like those of you who are filled with the Holy Ghost, I wanted it like I wanted the Holy Ghost. That's how badly I wanted to be able to breastfeed. Not to mention, you'll save anywhere $1,500, $1,700 a year on, or you'll spend that much a year on formula, Similac, Enfamil, whoever you're using. Even if you're using a store brand, it's all gonna get you. So if you have the power and the ability to be able to feed your baby from the breast, by God, do it, because there is absolutely no reason why you should be wasting it if you can. Also, if you are a person that breastfeed and for whatever reason, like you oversupply, you overproduce or something like that, I have been gifted or able enough to donate my milk to other places. So that's another good reason. When Drake was in the NICU, I don't know who the mom was, but it was safe donated breast milk that was given to my NICU baby, and that helped him to be able to survive, along with fortifiers that they add to the milk. So by all means, if you don't have any other reason, know that breastfeeding is free. It helps you lose weight, and it's full of antibodies, and you can help save somebody else's baby, or help somebody else's baby be established by breastfeeding. Okay, so again, I'm going to say that I am in no way, shape, or form a medical professional at all. My degree is not at all in nursing or any kind of thing like that. I'm not a medical assistant. I'm not in any way, shape, or form, any way at all. So anything that you learn from this video, you must take it to your doctor. You must go ahead and say, or to your lactation consultant, your OBGYN, whoever you decide to follow for your postpartum and baby care, and your pediatrician. Please refer to them if you are looking for a serious assistance, help, questions. I cannot provide that for you. Again, I am not a licensed professional at all. But I do hope to be a lactation consultant one day, so I hope that this stuff can help somebody. So forgive me if I'm just like reading a little bit, because I don't want to ramble too much. I already feel like I've been rambling just a little bit. What did I do in order to be able to get and maintain like such a good supply? First of all, you need to start by sharing that there is no magic in this. You have to work hard to build a supply. I am not going to come in here and try to lie to you and try to say that there's some magic quick fix. I have some fixes that will help you if you have already started to establish a good supply and if you have good drive, okay? But there is no pill, there is no method, there is no way that you can do. You probably have Pinterested everything that I'm about to say, but I'm going to tell you for sure like what worked for me. That's another thing that you need to know, is this is what works for my body chemistry. Most of the time though, most of you know, again, that I had a son that was born in the NICU, and that my postpartum issues like just killed off my supply. I could not produce anything. Like I literally only had drops. And so I will really say that my desperation and my frustration and my extreme drive with knowing that I really, really, really wanted to breastfeed made me be able to do this. So the first thing that you need to know, have some drive. You cannot sit here and think that you're going to feed baby at the breast one time, or if you're going to pump one time a day and all of a sudden you're going to take some pill and it's just going to work. No, sis, it's not going to work. Let it go. Put it out your mind. It's not going to happen. Go ahead and make sure that you have the mental capacity to be able to do this, because it takes work. It just like it takes work to stay up all half the night with this baby, it takes even a little bit more work to add a pumping routine or a feeding routine, or both, alongside baby. It is hard. Get that in your mind right now. You're not going to sleep 100% of the night. I do not sleep 100% of the night, but I want this so badly for my kid, that I'm willing to sacrifice that. So if you are in a place where you're just like, I can't get up in the middle of the night, I can't sacrifice that, I don't have the time or something like that, it's okay. If you have to supplement with formula, and if you have to go ahead and go with formula because it does not work out for you, that is okay. Please be okay with that. If you know that you have the drive though, and you know that you can, go ahead and stay with me. Don't end the video. If you can't, just say, bye, Crystal. I appreciate you. I love you. God bless. That's okay. This is especially important for moms who are still pregnant moms, or moms who are looking to be pregnant. The number one thing that you are going to do to establish, I'm not talking to moms who are like me and already postpartum. I'm talking about, and I'm talking especially if you're a few months postpartum, because it's going to be the further away you are from having your baby, the harder it is going to be to build your supply back up. Now, let me just tell the truth to you about that right now. Okay, but especially to moms who are pregnant, and moms who are who literally just had a baby, just like I did. If you do your best to stick to that freaking pump like it is your best friend, I guarantee you, if you do that, you will establish a huge supply. How do I know this? Because I already did the work that I'm telling you. When I was desperately searching, like, how do I build a good supply for Julian, when my second born, I came across this YouTube video and many other YouTube videos like it that said that the breasts are a supply and demand system. And I thought, like you, that everybody didn't know what they was talking about. Nah, sis, you not telling me what the drink is. You're not telling me what the real tea is. You're not telling me what the real brownie or the cookie is. Somebody knows what it is and somebody's not telling me. It's not a secret. It's not a lie. There is no magic this, no magic that. There are helpers. But you have to get on the pump. That is the best thing that you can do. I'm not lying to you. You have to get on the pump. If you are getting ready to have a baby, if you just had that baby, trust me. Every 2 hours, this woman talked about in her video how she stayed at the pump. And she had a NICU baby like me. She wanted that supply really, really badly. You need drive. You need to be at the pump, okay? Since I'm talking about pumps right now, I'm going to show you my very, very, very favorite pump. There is no pump like it. Let me tell you right now, put Medela away. I know Medela is popular. I know it's pretty, it's yellow, it's the most probably well-known name that you know. Put Medela away. She's not your friend. You don't like her anymore. Y'all don't hang out, okay? Let me introduce you to your real friend. This is a Spectra, okay? In order for you to get the most pull out of your breast, and I have tried a lot of different pumps. I will say the Medela Symphony, which is their hospital grade pump, which also costs like $2,000 or so, is good. So if you got $2,000 to go spend it on their Symphony, or if you want to rent it from your local hospital, by all means. If you are like me and are living on a budget and you have insurance, you want to get your Spectra, okay? Go ahead and get the Spectra. The features of the Spectra are pretty simple. It is very hackable as well. I just unhooked it, so I shouldn't have did that. Let me hook it back up so you can see. I love it because there is no backflow into the pump. That is like the number one thing that you want to be looking for. Medela has a backflow that will backflow into the pump, and it will tear your pump alive, or you will be forced to pay out of pocket if you give it even a little bit of a drop inside of that pump. It is weak. It will not have the strongest suction, and it's just not worth your time. So again, throw Medela away. When you get your opportunity to get your insurance paid for a pump, go with the Spectra. If you also, and this is the Spectra S2. There is a Spectra S1. To be honest, it's not that much different or variation from the S2. The pull, from what I know, is just about the same. But you want to be able to get a Spectra. They say that this is the hospital grade pump, and I'm not lying to you. It is. It is the best pump that you can go with. It has a pull that is like no other, or vacuum as it says. It has a night light that's on it, that's right in the handle. And it has two little settings on it. You probably can't see it get brighter, but whatever. It has two settings, so it makes nighttime pumping very, very easy. You power it on, whatever have you. You put this into the back of your bottles. It's very simple. Easy go. And I like to change my settings pretty frequently. I start off at like level 3 or so like that to get my letdown. And if you are a breastfeeder, you know what letdown is. If you are not a breastfeeder just yet, and you're pregnant still with baby, you will feel like a strong pulling sensation that goes throughout the veins and stuff like that of the breast. Actually, I don't know where it goes through, but you'll feel it. And that's due to the release of oxytocin, which is the same hormone that draws your uterus back in and pulls and gives you contractions to get baby out. So when you release that oxytocin, you will feel it. There is nothing like this pull. Nothing at all. And again, no backflow into here. No backflow going back into the pump. It's a closed system. That's the best thing that you need to know. It has a variation of settings. I won't waste your time trying to explain to you all of that, but just trust me on that. I have tried Medela. I tried everything to get my supply back with Drake. Nothing worked. Okay. Trust me, the Spectra is your best friend. I had planned to say this a little bit later, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Most people do not know that your insurance will cover 2 breast pumps in the same calendar year under the same pregnancy. Now, at the time that I learned that, had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I had to learn that from a person who really knew the insurance world very well. And I literally sat on the phone with her for an hour because I was trying to soak up all the information that I possibly could on breastfeeding, and she was the one that told me that. So call and check your insurance, even if you've already, sis, you made the mistake of getting the Medela, you hadn't seen this video yet, you hadn't talked to me, you don't know me yet at that point, but you know me now and we're best friends. You gonna call Blue Cross Blue Shield, you gonna call United Healthcare, you gonna call whoever you gonna call, Cigna, Adnoid, all of them people. Call them back and say, sorry, I need another pump. Check and see if they will give you another one. I don't really know how things will go in the middle of COVID, whatever have you, everything's backed up. Another thing that you can do, and I know that my sister-in-law, I think I see her here, she will swear by it, is you can purchase the S9, I think it's called, Jen. You can purchase the S9, and that one is pretty affordable as well. And that one, it can go with you. Now, it does not provide a strong pump for me, I also have this one. This is the Freemie. The Freemie has cups that can go directly into the bra. The good thing about the Freemie is that you do not need a pumping bra. You can just wear a regular old nursing bra. So I'm pulling it like y'all want to see this. I'm sorry, but you know what this looks like. The regular old nursing bra, you can just put the cups inside and go. So that helps to be able, like if you're on the go, although I don't know where you're going in the middle of COVID anyway, but it helps if you really need to get a quick relief. But this pump, this is what it looks like. This is the Freemie. Sorry for my toe up nails. It doesn't really provide a whole lot of suction. It just gives you relief if you're on the go. So anyway, try your best to get that pump if you can. And remember, this is the Spectra. It's pink. The S1 is blue, basically. She's saying you can get it, the Freebie comes from Target, you can get it from Amazon. The reason why I love this is because it's extremely Amazon friendly. And let me show you something else. One of the reasons, or one of the ways that you want to stay on top of your, your supply, is replacing your parts as often as possible. Now, as I showed you, about this much, and this is on my lower side. My other side, I think it went upstairs. As you can see, I do not use the bottles from the I make too much for that, and I speed through them too fast, and nobody has time to waste liquid gold anywhere and everywhere. So I use Avita bottles to fill up or whatever have you. But the parts that are inside are very orderable. This is called your duckbill, and this right here, this piece is your flange. I'm a 28 millimeter flange. They're very orderable from Amazon. Okay, so go ahead and get the Spectra because it's worth it. Again, throw Medela away. That is the number one thing that you want to do to help you build a really good supply. Do not use Medela, okay? And I'm sorry if you are a person who loves Medela. I hate Medela. I don't like anything about them. I will not support them. Unless they pay my bills, I'm not ever going to support Medela. Get the Spectra. Okay, enough about that. I already mentioned change your pump parts often. Order from Amazon. This is a system that I order from Amazon. They give you everything. They have bottles that fit and adapt right with the system. And Spectra can be adapted to use with Medela parts even still. So if you are on the fly and you really need to, you can pretty much look up and hack anything to a Spectra. Another reason why I love it. Okay. Keep your essentials on hand so there's no excuse for you not to be able to pump. You can't see it right now, I can't even move. But right now I have the little pull-out drawer that the teachers use. I have everything that I need right here inside of drawers. Do not sit here and think that you're going to get up in the middle of the night and you don't have everything right next to you. It'll give you another excuse not to get up. Keep it all in front of you so you have everything that you need. I won't waste a whole lot of time talking about that because that's pretty self-explanatory. Set alarms. You need to be able to set an alarm. Again, drive is half of the work. Set an alarm, okay? If you don't want to wait all the way until you get engorged and you feel like all up here in your armpit that it hurts and you don't want to pump anymore. Don't do that. Number one, you don't want to get mastitis, and number two, you don't want to lose your supply over time. So go ahead, make sure that you set the alarm. Don't wait until baby's ready to eat. One of the number one things that I do to help build a supply very quickly, I feed baby on one side, I pump on the other side, I switch, okay? I know that sounds like a whole lot of work, and it is. It is a whole lot of work. I cannot lie to you. It's a whole lot of work to sit there and do all that pumping and then switch sides, okay? That is half of the work, though. You just have to be dedicated to it. You just have to be committed to it. But go ahead and do it. Put baby, I usually put baby on my stronger or weaker side first, because I know that if I'm a person that lets out all of my foremilk and high milk, foremilk pretty quickly, and that's the lightish, tinnish, almost has like a bluish kind of color milk. It can spray like very quickly and just kind of choke baby. So I'll pump on the side that needs a little bit more relief first, which for me is my right side, and I feed her on the left so that she's able to get to the high milk a lot more quickly, and that's the nice, nutritious, and fatty side, okay? The other thing that I do is I have a cheat sheet, and that's probably the piece that you are waiting for. So you have probably, if you see any part of my breastfeeding journey at any point in time, you would have noticed or would have known that I will say that Gatorade is my best friend, okay? Gatorade is your best friend. Yes, water is good for all of you. Dr. Kang, I know you're going to try to tell us drink our water, and all of you other waterheads who love water and who just are water goddesses and, you know, just all of that. That's wonderful and fine and dandy, but I'm going to tell you about this Gatorade, okay? Electrolytes help you build your supply. I do not know the science behind it at this time. When and if I've ever become a lactation consultant, I will be more informed and have the proper explanations to be able to tell you why electrolyte building is just so good for your supply. But trust me, Gatorade is your best friend, okay? This is my quick fix. I like to put this in the freezer to make it kind of slushy. It tastes really good. You can drink it kind of faster, whatever have you. It just tastes good, whatever have you. I also usually like to keep a tall thing. I don't have it here with me, but a tall thing of ice water as well. And I chew on the ice, so I get in my water by chewing ice. That I know it's bad for your teeth, whatever, but I love it, whatever have you. But the number one thing is Gatorade. As a matter of fact, my husband actually bought this because I guess he knew I was going to go through a lot of Gatorade upon breastfeeding. And I don't know if you know this, but Gatorade is sold like this, like Kool-Aid style, in the store. And it just so turns out that he made like a batch of this in our picture the other day, and I thought it was actually Kool-Aid. I had no idea. He didn't add any sugar or anything to it. But my supply increased immediately. And I asked him, I was just like, I happened to go to him. I was like, is this Gatorade that you made? This is not Kool-Aid? I thought it was blue Kool-Aid, but it was Gatorade. He's like, yeah, it was Gatorade. I was like, oh, that's the reason why my supply picked up just like that. So Gatorade is your best friend. There are some people who like to do Gatorade mix. They call it Lactorade. And I'm sorry that I don't have the exact measurements, but you can Google it. You can get Gatorade, and you can also mix mother's milk tea. Sorry, turning the box around. This is mother's milk tea. I do not drink this tea alone. It is very much like licorice tasting to me, but you can make a cup or make a pitcher, combine the two half and half or whatever have you. I forget the exact measurement. And these two combined can help you increase your supply. But I'm telling you right now, if you wanted to know like what is absolutely number one on my list to help you increase your supply, overstock yourself on Gatorade. Ask me for, I'm trying to pay attention to the comments. Ask me, for example, how much do I need to drink? As much as you can drink without making yourself sick. That's how much Gatorade I was going. When I first know, and I will say I didn't Google that. I discovered that quite by accident. And then when I happened to be putting together a Pinterest board of all the stuff that I was doing, and I do have a cool Pinterest board if you want to follow it. I happened to see that Gatorade works for other moms too. So I discovered the Gatorade thing quite by accident. What happened was we were staying at my in-laws' house with my second born baby, Julian, and Jason, my husband, had bought a bunch of the smaller, not this size, but the smaller size Gatorade, and he had put a bunch of them in the freezer. And again, like it tasted, really good, slushy to me because you pull them out at just the right moment. You know how it is, you all. You pull them out at just the right moment and it tasted like freaking amazing. And so I just was pouring through them and I noticed my supply just kept picking up. Like no tomorrow. It kept picking up. So I figured out like maybe it's the Gatorade. And I started to drink more and more of the Gatorade, and lo and behold, this bottle, and I'll just show you this, ladies, again for inspiration so you can know. This is again on my weaker side. Before you know it, I was hitting this every single time that I pumped. I was hitting 9 and 8 ounces or so, 6 at my least, or whatever have you, every single time. You know what I mean? This is like, and I'm telling you, like pumping this much, most people look at these bottles and be like, why do you use a big bottle? This is normal for me. I can feel right now I need to go pump. You know what I mean? But Gatorade, again, is your best friend, okay? It will make you full kind of quickly, so, eat well or whatever have you. Eat your leafy green vegetables, all that stuff that they tell you. You've already Googled all that. You already know all that. Gatorade is your best friend. And if you don't want to buy, like, the individual bottles and stuff like that, by all means, get the can. Make yourself a big make yourself a big picture of it. Okay, another thing that I use, this is always going to be, and I'm almost done, you all, last on my list, okay, because you want to try to stay away from using too many, as a person who desires to be a lactation consultant, I already know that other lactation consultants are going to say, try to stay away from too many supplements. You want to work hard to build the supply. So if you haven't heard me, if you just joined not that long ago, you need to pump. There's nothing else that you can do. You need to pump every 2 to 3 hours, okay? But if you do want to know some of the things that I have used in the time that I know for myself are tried and true, my cheaters, okay? First of all, Milky Mama is my best friend. She and I go together. She just don't know it yet. This is her emergency brownie pack. They used to be packaged a little bit differently. These are amazing. I do love them. They do actually, the formula to me has changed because I was with Milky Mama back when they first came out, back when she first came out with brownies, and like she used to literally bake them in a clear container and send them in fresh to you. They would literally be fresh baking whatever kitchen she was using. That's how fresh they were. Now she kind of prepackages, probably uses a preservative inside of it. She's got nutrition facts and all types of stuff on here. They are a little bit more on the expensive side. I think they cost you like $17 or $18, something like that for a box, but you get a nice healthy supply. And again, the formula is not, or I should say the makeup of it is not quite the same. But go ahead, and she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram. Look up Milky Mama. This is what it looks like. And if you can see, the box that I specifically have are emergency brownies. Again, I'm not a person that advertises for using a whole bunch of supplements or whatever have you. But if you are desperate, if you are a little bit more than a few weeks postpartum, whatever have you, try this. And you have to. One of the things that women particularly mess up on is thinking that they can just eat brownies or just do mother's milk tea or just drink Gatorade. No, you have to do it all. You have to combine. No matter what you do, any method that you use, if you use one of them or all of them, you need to be making sure that you are combining that with staying your behind on the pump. Your pump is your best friend, okay? And your baby is too. Speaking of baby, my baby is she's just falling over. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope y'all don't think I'm trying to not keep her sitting up. Baby suckle. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Commercial break. Baby suckle is good. It's good for helping to increase, and so is the pump. If you are an exclusive pumper, not an exclusive breastfeeder or whatever have you, right now I exclusively breastfeed, which means I put baby to breast. Right now, like at 100% of the time. If you are an exclusive pumper, even still, stay at the pump and make sure that when you're doing any of these methods, you are combining it with being at the pump every 2 to 3 hours to build your supply quickly. Okay. So Milky Mom emergency brownies, and again, this is built by a certified lactation consultant. and a labor and delivery nurse. She's awesome. She's amazing. She occasionally goes lives on her Instagram to answer questions that moms may have. So certainly if I don't have the answer, check out some of her videos or posts or something like that. She might. Okay. Another one. Here's the one that is probably famous, and that's fenugreek. Okay. Now, I can tell you right now that most lactation consultants are going to advise you to stay away from fenugreek. That fenugreek is not your friend because it can work very quickly, very well. Okay? That is true. Fenugreek is good to work well. Okay? But you don't want to become dependent upon it because as quickly as it can drive your supply up, is as quickly as it can drive it right back down and through the ground. You'll become dependent upon it, and all of a sudden you'll see your supply go to waste. So I know, for example, the owner and maker of Milky Mama, she absolutely advises completely against all things fenugreek because some moms, it really just has a quick boomerang effect in your supply. So I will say that this is up to you. Now, what is my personal experience? My personal experience is, yes, fenugreek does work pretty quickly and does work well. I only recommend, you can see this is the reason why it's still a full bottle. I only recommend using fenugreek at the start of your supply, like waiting for your milk to come in to help give yourself a boost as you wait for it to come in. As you know, or if you don't know, if you're a pregnant mommy and not a postpartum mommy, never meaning you never had any children before, while you're waiting for your milk to come in, the breast will produce colostrum. Colostrum is, again, full of antibodies. You need that. But it's not mature milk. Your mature milk, if you are a person who's just had a vaginal birth, delivery, will come in maybe 3-4 days or something like that max. And then if you are a person who is a C-section, and I have experienced both, go moms of VBACs. If you are a person who has experienced a C-section, you can expect about the same or longer. So I only use fenugreek, and I'm saying this, I'm telling you the truth. I only use fenugreek when I want to bump up my supply very quickly. How much do you take? Depends on you. What most people recommend for you to take is as much as you can until you smell like maple syrup. Okay, I have no idea why people say that at all, but as much as you can. They are powdered capsules. You can get fenugreek not just in the capsular formula. This is just from Walmart, nice little store brand or whatever have you. But you can get fenugreek in powdered form, where you can like pour it into a smoothie. You can also get it pre-made into like lactation cookies, lactation teas, and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, the mother's milk tea may have a dose of fenugreek in it or whatever have you. And certainly there are other ones that I didn't necessarily bring on camera, but I'm just putting this one out here because this one is the most popular. Again, I do not recommend that you use this forever and ever and ever because most lactation consultants will tell you very quickly that it can drive your supply right back into the ground. So I really say that you should use this while you're waiting for your milk to come in. And after that, for the most part, I don't touch it anymore. Now, what I do use on occasion, almost regularly, is another Milky Mama product. This is called a tincture, okay? It's on the bottle. It's called a dietary supplement. And Milky Mama, again, same owner. This is what it looks like. She has different ones, and they have different things that are inside of it, different extracts of things. This one in particular has goat's root, which you can also get in the pill form, like fenugreek. This one also has blessed thistle, available in the pill form, like fenugreek. It also has alfalfa. So she's done her research for you already. It has alfalfa. You can buy it separately on Amazon as well in the pill form, I believe. And then I believe this is anise. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but anyway, she lists all of the ingredients on the back. I know that that's very small to see. Again, I'm just saying for anybody who's just recently joining or anything like that, I am not a person that recommends you doing a whole bunch of supplements. Do the work and stay at the pump. And remember, Medela is not your friend. Spectra is. Throw Medela away. Tell her goodbye. Okay, stay at the pump. But if you're going to add a cheater go ahead and get the best cheater that you can. And I personally recommend and know what works. And that's for me, and that's Milky Mama. So how tinctures work, and she has any number of them. She has like one called Pump Princess. This one is called Milky Maiden or whatever have you. She advertises how they work differently over time. But basically what you're going to do is 2 bottle squeezes. And I really attribute, like whenever I need a helper, this is what I do. You just very quick under the tongue. If you don't really like it, I can take the taste. It's not bad to me. If you don't like it, then I do 2. She tells you on the bottle to do 2 bulb squeezes. If you don't like it, put it into put it into a drink or something like that. It'll be very easy. You can see I've had this since I had Julian. That's how much I've used it. But also, I guess that's a testament to how well it works. I like it, and I always see an increase in my supply very quickly. Okay. Another thing, and I think I'm going to shift a little bit into what I do while I pump. Okay. Now, obviously, the Saints would have my head if I tried to show y'all what it looks like when I actually pump. So I'm not going to be doing any of that because I don't need nobody calling my pastor saying like Crystal didn't have her lady goods out. Okay. So I'm not going to do that. But I will show you as close as possible what I can. My first set of these actually came from one of my mommy group friends. I think it was Yolanda who sent me that. So if I'm not mistaken, these little things come in a Lancino kit. And Lancino, here's their brand in case you don't know, like what they look like. Those are breast milk storage bags. Get to that in a second. I love these. One of the number one ways that they can be used as cold packs, but the number one way that I use these in order to be able to help me produce more milk, I warm these up because they are microwavable in the microwave for about 11 seconds. I have a very good microwave. I warm them up for about 11 seconds or so. And then all you do is very easily, very gently slip it in or whatever have you before you pump. Okay. Let the warmth, let the heat or whatever have you soak down and help encourage milk to be able to release. Okay. And then I'm a person, I guess you could say that like, I know my body like very, very well. So I can always feel when like my milk is starting to like kind of drop down a little bit before I get a letdown. So these are my best friends when I pump. Okay. Heat them up. That warmth is very good for being able to encourage milk to be able to come out. Another thing, and this is probably the number one thing that I wanted to be able to talk to you all about, is while you are pumping, okay, let me get this bottle. So here's your flange, right? Your flange gets connected into the back of your backflow protector, which is this right here. Okay, again, all parts of it easily to be found on Amazon. And I hope you'll forgive me for being just a little graphic. I'm not going to obviously pull anything out or anything like that. But you're gonna go here, okay? You know that you're putting this inside of your pumping bra, and I have the kind of bra that actually looks like a bra, looks like this, or whatever have you. I love those things, so I don't have to work too hard. It's a dual pumping and nursing bra, but you're putting it in or whatever have you. At no point in time should you just be sitting back watching Netflix and you're just sitting here, and then milk is just coming. No, sis. I've seen people, I'm not saying I'm being a creep or anything like that, but watch people and they're just sitting at the pump. They just sit there at the pump. Look, you got to know that pumping is a little bit of Olympics, okay? It's Olympics. You don't want to just be massaging only when you feel engorged. You don't want to be massaging only when you feel a clog, okay? You want to be massaging while you pump at all times. And I'm trying to tell you, I do all kinds of different maneuvers, movements, and stuff like that. A lot of people, and I was so glad, I don't know if she's still on, but my friend, Dr. Kiara King, one of the things that I love about her video is when she taught you how to self-check in for breast months, because it is, breast cancer awareness month. One of the things that she pointed out was that you have to go up here, like your mammary glands and whatnot, like I guess extend like into underneath your armpit. And like likewise then, milk can also be stored kind of under there. So I don't know about you, but like I massage like all the way from underneath the armpit, like all up in here. You know what I mean? I'll try not to be extremely graphic or whatever have you, because again, I don't want y'all calling my pastor. But under here, okay, you want to get like all through here, you know, and I'm gonna be very careful because I'll end up leaking all over the place. You want to get all through here. You want to get all through here. You want to get underneath, and so on and so forth. When I'm pumping, you're not just sitting there. You have to maneuver, massage, manipulate the breast, okay? Maneuver, massage, manipulate. Try to remember the 3 M's. Push on the breast, move the breast around, move around, change your angle, squeeze a little bit from a different side, you know, whatever have you. I do everything. And you also want to make sure that when you are pumping, you do not stop pumping after the milk stops coming out. Don't do that. Keep pumping, okay? For those of you who have been like me and have been desperate to increase your supply pretty quickly, you'll read all the time where people will say pumping is a supply and demand system, okay? It's the truth, okay? And I'm trying to tell you, it is the absolute truth. It is a supply and demand system. Why do I want to keep pumping even though no more milk is coming out? And I've maneuvered, massaged, and manipulated every single point in the breast that I possibly could to get more and more milk out. Because you are going to send a message to your breast, baby's still hungry. I need more. Come on, amp it up, amp it up, amp it up. And when your body goes, oh, I don't have any more, I'm not sending out anymore, that must mean I need to make more. It is the truth. I did not believe lactation consultants when they tried to tell me that your breasts are supply and demand type systems. But I had learned it for myself. For whatever reason, and what it would be is I would be sitting up watching Handmaid's Tale or something like that on Hulu, and I would still be sitting there pumping, okay? And then I would just like still sitting there, like I'm not doing anything. I thought like, you know, oh, I'm just not doing it. I'll turn it off in a second. And I noticed that the more that I did that, the next time that I pumped, the more milk that I got, okay? Another thing that you can do while you are doing your pumping, maneuvering, and your Olympics or whatever have you, you want to put that pull on your pump. Again, Medela is not your friend. Let me keep saying that for anybody that keeps joining. Medela is not your friend. Spectra is. You want to try to increase that pull as much as you possibly can and then turn the pump off and stop, okay? Why are you doing that? Because you want to get a second letdown, okay? One of the things that you can do, and let me slow down. I feel like I'm talking way too fast and all over the place for people who don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, so mommies or mommies to be or mommies who hope to be or mommies one day, okay, you're going to feel what's called the letdown, okay? That letdown is stimulated by a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin is responsible for making sure that your uterus contracts in labor and for making sure that your uterus recontracts again to draw it back into its normal size. That same hormone, you know, because God just does all things well. I'll explain in a second, Sora. God does all things well. It's because that same hormone will also stimulate your letdown in the breast, okay? And you'll feel it. It will, when you establish a really good supply, you will feel like your breast will go like a clenching sensation inside, and that will be your letdown. Well, most people think that they could just get one letdown while they're pumping. No. You can get more than one, okay? It just involves you, once you have maxed out, stop for a little bit, turn the pump off for a good 10 minutes or so. Turn it back on, turn it on low, try to get it again, and try to see if you can let down again. Keep doing this until it happens. That is a modified variation of what we call power pumping, okay? And for those of you, again, who have been looking for anything and everything to try to help you amp up your supply, you probably have come across that on Pinterest. Let me tell you how power pumping works, okay? I basically just explained it, but if you want to do it just to help yourself, what you're going to do is get on the pump. You're going to pump for 10 minutes. Actually, so there's some variation. My variation is I pump for 15 minutes, stop for 4 minutes or stop for 5 minutes or so. Get back on, pump for 10 minutes, stop the pump completely, wait another 10 minutes or so before you get back on. And then get back on a third time and still pump again for another 5 minutes, okay? So the rates that I use when I'm power pumping, I pump for 15, then I stop, I pump for 10, then I stop, then I pump for 5, then I stop, okay? And you can literally look up power pumping very easily, and they'll tell you different people have different ways of how they do it. Basically, you want to put your body on a pumping vacation and say, I just need to spend time at the pump because that's the way I'm going to increase my supply this weekend. You want to just get with your baby, get with yourself, put her on one side, put the pump on the other side, go at it. Go ahead and power pump. Go ahead and power pump. This is the number one way that I build up my supply. Yes, I have the fenugreek. Yes, I have the tincture. Yes, I have the brownies. Yes, I've had the lemonade. I've had all of it. But nothing picks up your supply like sticking to the pump. And like I said earlier when I started the video, if you cannot commit to sticking with the pump because you just says and you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I can't do it. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. It wasn't meant to happen. It's not in the cards. God don't allow it. Whatever you say, if it's just not gonna happen, it's just not gonna happen. Don't feel bad about that. If whatever amount of milk that you are able to give to your baby, even if it's just drops that you draw up inside of a little squeegee, whatever they call those things, that still counts, okay? But if you know that you have the ability to be able to commit to power pumping and to just pumping in general, set the alarm, go ahead and pump, put on your favorite show, maneuver, massage, manipulate, do all that you can or whatever have you. Combine it with any method that you've seen here, whatever have you. Okay, I will not waste. This is how I know I took too much time talking because my computer is locked out and I gotta type in my password to get back to my notes. So the other thing is that you want to make sure that you be patient. One of the things that you need to know is that if you are still making something, like at least an ounce, you have the ability to go ahead and amp up your supply by trying one or all of these methods. And remember, don't try anything, no magic, anything without the power of pumping. You need to pump. Okay, there's no getting around that. You have to pump. You have to pump. And you should be pumping in the middle of the night too. Do not skip your middle night pumps. But if you cannot, and you just, you need to know that like if you are trying to relactate, that is different from trying to build your supply. Relactation or just inducing lactation indicates that you no longer have a supply. Meaning like you are like a woman who you can't get drops, you can't get anything, you can barely get colostrum. That is a different conversation, and it can be done, but that's not this conversation. So if you are trying to relactate, or if you're trying to induce lactation, that's not gonna happen. Okay, on this conversation, that is a conversation that can be had by much more experienced persons than I am concerning that. I have attempted it and I have been able to do it. It is very hard to do, whatever have you. And that's a desperation that's a hard work like you've done before. But if you are like most people who are probably on this live and are just like, I'm still making milk, I'm still have something and I just want to pick it up a little bit, this is still for you. So just remember, no matter what it is, whether it's using the tea, whether it's using fenugreek, again, whether it's using all the Gatorade in the world, because again, Gatorade is your best friend, whether it is going out and getting a new pump. So Amber, I think you asked me how come Medela is not your friend. I'm going to back up to that like right now. Medela has an open system. It can easily make your milk backflow into the pump. It also does not have a pull like Spectra does. Spectra has they claim to be a hospital grade pump, and to me, they are every bit of the word of a hospital grade pump. They are a hospital grade pump. There are different variations of Spectra. You could just wait until I post this or whatever have you, go back and watch it or whatever have you. But Spectra is your best friend. Medela is not your friend. Medela is not strong enough. It is not pull enough. And take it from a person who oversupplies. Medela can never empty me. That is the reason why I'm saying that Medela is not your friend. I am a person who oversupplies. That means I've donated thousands of ounces of milk at a time. I'm not like some people. There's some people who hyperlactate and they can make thousands of ounces of milk in a day. I'm not that much of an oversupplier. You know what I mean? I can make 50, 60, maybe up to 100 a day when she gets to be about 2 months old. I expect to probably be about that area. But for a person who knows what she's talking about, for a person who sits at the pump a lot, Medela is your friend. Medela can empty you because it has a pool like no other. It's available on Amazon. If you need to purchase it out of pocket, your insurance won't pay for it. And there have different variations that have the exact same pool. Okay, that's why I'm saying that Medela is not that great. Spectra is just the better pump, and I know it's not as popular as Medela. Medela is the name that we hear. Medela is the one that you see on commercials and TV, and it's what you see in Target. Don't get it. Trust me. If your insurance will pay for Spectra, get the Spectra. Okay. So be patient. Don't stress over your supply because that's not going to help you. And remember, everybody has this bad conception that breast is best. Wrong. Do not ever let anybody tell you that breast is best. Okay? Don't do that. Fat is best. From the person who felt like I could not properly and adequately give birth like a real woman could at first. I had a crash C-section from my first birth, and I had a planned C-section for my second birth, whatever have you. I just couldn't breastfeed. I just felt like in my first pregnancy I couldn't do anything right. I lost 2 of my triplets. I had a crash C. I mean, just nothing went right for me in that pregnancy. I left. I had a huge baby shower for this little girl because I remember leaving my first baby shower just in tears. I tried very hard to be grateful and happy for the gifts that I had gotten in that first baby shower, and I just couldn't. I drove myself to the hospital to go see the baby. I didn't know if it was going to live. That first pregnancy, postpartum depression is very real. Let me tell y'all, let me not sit here. Jesus is real too, but you know what? If you need help, go see somebody. Do not stress yourself out over anything, okay? You are a good mother. You are an excellent mother. If you're not a mother yet, you're going to be one. You're gonna be an excellent mother. Do not stress. Do not fear. Do not let anybody make you feel bad. Your mama, that was her day. If she's trying to tell you something that you don't want to hear, somebody else, one of my aunties told me the other night, you need to get that baby water. No, I don't. This is my baby, and I'm going to do what I want to do. If you feel like it's not best for your baby, you tell them, I kindly thank you for your advice, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm her mother. I'm his father. I'm his mother. You go ahead and you say that if that's what you have to say. Know that you are doing a good job. Do not let anybody's comments or concerns, their nicely phrased concerns, send you into postpartum depression or furthermore amplify postpartum depression. It is real, it sucks, it hurts, and it is hard to pull yourself out of. So shameless plug, go and see a mental health professional if you need. But certainly if you are struggling with producing, whatever have you, do not add a further stress by sitting here and letting some people tell you that breast is best. No, sis, fat is best. Remember that, okay? Supplement only with these helpers, like I said, if it's absolutely necessary. I'm going to put this down for a second. If it's absolutely necessary, going back over our helpers one more time, my favorites are Milky Mama, Mother's Milk Tea, combined with loads and loads and loads of Gatorade. This is the canned version that you can get. Using your helpers when you power pump and you're doing your pump and Olympics, maneuver, manipulate, and massage. Fenugreek, I think, did I hold that up already? That's one of my favorite helpers, and this is by far my absolute favorite helper. Again, another product by Milky Mama. It's a tincture or whatever have you. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you are a person who does get to oversupply, sunflower lecithin is a I forget exactly what they call it as far as how it supports the breastfeeding, but basically it can help thin your milk out so that you can it's an emulsifier. I think that's what we call it. For those of you all who that's your degree, help me out. You can take this in order to help prevent getting mastitis. One of the things that you want to do while you are, like, if you are like me and you happily get up to an oversupply, great, good job for you, but you do not want to get mastitis, okay? Mastitis is an infection. You won't be able to feed your baby. It can be dangerous if left untreated or whatever have you, and it is a very serious condition that you do not want to run into postpartum, okay? So what I do, whenever I start to see that I'm getting a duct that is too clogged, or if I feel like I am doing all of my pumping Olympics. I'm putting baby to breast because baby can really remove clogged ducts better than anybody, better than anything, better than the pump can. If you're still feeling like you're not getting any relief, you can use sunflower lecithin. I believe that I ordered this from Amazon. If not, then it probably came from my local health food store, which out by me here in Illinois is called Sunrise. Okay, if I didn't get it from you can get it from pretty much anywhere, but this is what it looks like. It's called sunflower lecithin. Okay, and I take about 2 soft gels. They are kind of big, but they go down very easily. And this can help you from making sure that you do not have overly clogged ducts. Okay. The last thing I want to say is keep the baby at the breast if you can. If you are able to breastfeed baby, you can. Most moms will probably get this kind of pillow. Mine is all ugly and kind of toe up or whatever have you. And I don't even know if this is the same brand. I don't know if this is a brand Boppy. The Boppy pillow helps you to get your baby in position in the very best way possible. There's different kinds of holds that you can do with the baby in order to ensure that she is latched properly. My favorite, and just because she's sleeping, for y'all's sake, my favorite is the football hold. She's probably gonna holler just a little bit. My favorite is football hold, and you're gonna hold the baby just exactly like football, okay? Like in your arm, like you're gonna run for the touchdown. Boom, she's at the breast, whatever have you. That's my favorite hold. Sometimes if you are an oversupplier, it does mean that you could end up like kind of choking a little bit. So sometimes my other favorite is to lay flat backed or whatever have you and let her be able to control the flow of the milk. But you really only have to worry about that if you're a person. Most of the time we are looking on TV and we think that this is the way that we're gonna hold the baby because that's what TV shows us. There are all different kinds of ways to be able to put the baby to breast, but as long as you can get her to the breast, that matters, that counts. The other thing that helps making sure that your supply stays active if you're going to be an exclusive best breastfeeder is the latch, okay? Again, I don't want nobody to tell about Pastor or me, so I cannot necessarily open baby's mouth to show you the actual latch for baby. But I'm going to try to do my best without being too graphic to kind of explain. Sorry if you hear my kids hollering. So I'm going to pretend that this pillow is breast, okay? And that this corner right here is nipple, okay? I had a nurse show me when I was at Northwestern Hospital with my second born baby, the very best possible thing. You want to lift the whole boob like this, and like make like a squeezing kind of motion, like so you're almost flattening the nipple and the breast tissue behind it, and then put that into baby's mouth, okay? That is, and like you're basically going like this. Please forgive me for being just a little bit open, but you're gonna go like this. That is by far, to me, the best way to get baby latched on and to make sure that she produces a good enough suckle. Now, if you have a baby that has like tongue tie or any other kind of things that interrupt how she latches, that is a different story, and you do want to talk to your local lactation consultant to help you out with that. But ensuring that you have a good latch from baby while suckling, because nothing pulls on that breast like the baby does, okay? Going back to that benefits aside from antibodies and stuff like that, the other good thing that you will notice, or I once learned this on Pinterest, is that baby's saliva interacting with the breast can actually tell milk exactly what should be produced in your milk to help them grow at that moment. Breast milk at some point is filled with plenty of omega acids that help with brain and muscle development for the baby, and like helps her get to her milestones as soon and as quickly as possible, okay? But the other thing that it can do, and I didn't believe this until I saw my milk change for myself, is kind of indicate if baby's about to get sick, if baby is about to, just not do so well or something like that. I promise you, I did not believe that when I saw it. I thought it was Photoshop. Milk will change in consistency and color based on what is going on with her. Okay, when I noticed that my son Julian was about to get sick, I immediately saw that it turned back to like this goldenish kind of yellow colored milk instead of the more white maturish looking milk that I would always normally produce. And I was like, wow, what is that about? And of course that was when I was pumping and storing the milk, and then it seemed like he kind of passed over the sickness kind of quickly or whatever have you, but I could still look at the days and times in which I was pumping that particular set of milk and notice that the color had completely changed. So you'll see, like when you Google, you look at La Leche League, when you see even on Kelly Mom and stuff like that, if you're a person who tries to keep up with that kind of thing, that they'll try to tell you that like your milk consistency and color and whatnot will change because it will adapt to what baby needs based on what it's receiving, I guess, as a message or signal in your baby's saliva. I did not believe that that was really possible, but then, you know, God, again, just does all things well. And like, again, another great reason for you to be able to breastfeed. I feel like I have taken up so much of your time. Really am grateful for the people who like stuck around, hung around all the way to the end. I will go over like my cheat sheet like one more time. These are the storage milk bags that I also use as well. Oh, you know what? Here, let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna show y'all, if I can get up the stairs fast enough, how I actually store my milk, because it's also, I should have had that prepared, but it's also actually important. And I'm just gonna put little mama down. It's actually also important for how you store milk too, as well. I'm gonna do this real quick and show you what this looks like. So this is my freezer. I do not have a whole lot of freezer space. Okay. When I have freshly pumped milk, I do not have a whole lot of freezer space down in here, but I store it like this. Obviously, your Lancino bags will tell you what time, who it's for, what day, and how many ounces or whatever have you do for your milk. I store it and I will put it into into the milk bag. I'll let all of the air out before I do it. I've even taught my husband for the most part like how to do it so that it can be stored properly. And the reason that I do that is so that you will have like bags that store flatly upon each other. Why do I do that? So then you can take your freezer space. You can see, I'm gonna show off a little bit so you can see I know what I'm talking about. All your freezer bags, you're gonna get your gallon storage bag. So this is all the milk that I have made postpartum. This is all the milk that I have made postpartum thus far. I do not have a large freezer. If you know anything about what's going on with freezers, if you want to sell me one, please say something because we need a freezer. But it helps you to be able to store all of your milk in like cool little gallon Ziploc bags or whatever have you. And it'll help you to be able to store it flatly. I made the mistake of storing it. I got one mistake bag in here some way, but you'll see, like if you don't store it flatly, you won't be able to kind of like keep it as flat as possible. Mine still is a little bit bulky, and that's because most of the time I always store to the max line. I always store to 6 ounces or whatever have you. But let this be some inspiration for you. Another way that I do when I have maxed out a bag of milk, I end up writing how much is in that total bag. I count up all the individual ounces on the individual bags right there. And then I end up writing like how much do I know is in this bag, because this actually ended up helping me for when I needed to donate milk to kind of get it out of my freezer. I would know like, okay, I got 50 ounces right here. I can take this and give it to you. I already know that there's 50 ounces. Somebody would tell me like, oh, I got a set of twins. Somebody ended up being like a set of twins or something like that. And I already know like if I could just need to get them like 3 bags like this, here you go. You know what I mean? Or one of my mom friends, I've donated to her before. when she was in a pinch, you know what I mean? You know, like obviously they know I'm a clean person. I don't have any, you know, venereal diseases, anything like that, whatever have you. But it helps you to be able to keep track of how much you've stored, how much you're making, and you know also how much you want to donate if you end up getting to the point of donating. If you're not planning on donating, you know, your milk, especially all things middle of COVID, you're probably not, you know, anything. And probably nobody really wants donated milk unless it's going straight to the hospital anyway. Either way, it's still a good way to store. Now the bags, like, they're kind of looking kind of bad right now because I didn't really store them like very neatly or whatever have you. But this is what you want to do. I actually am in need of another bag, so I just keep my bags up here in the freezer, whatever have you. And when I have filled up the bag, I go ahead and I count it down, okay? And I prefer to sit it up like this or whatever have you, but it seems like I'm just being lazy because I know I'm running out of space in my freezer. Again, if you have a freezer that you want to sell us, please do that, or whatever have you. Go ahead and lay it in here flat, like flat bottom if you can. And again, I don't put the total amount of ounces until I am done filling the bag. So like all these bags, like right here, they have something on there because I'm done filling up this bag. And pretty soon I'm gonna run out of space. So one more plugs. If you have a freezer, a deep freezer, by chance that you want to sell, please go ahead and give it to me. I use this, I guess I'll just mention this since I have it before I let you all go, as my guide. This is another, like, I'm really team Milky Mama. Sis need to put me on her payroll actually because I stay promoting her for real. But she sent this magnet in the last order of brownies or whatever have you that I had. And it's just a really quick reminder for how you can store your milk. The reason why I'm constantly mentioning, like, I don't have a freezer, if y'all know where I can get one, please help a sister out, is because you really want to be able to put your milk into a deep freezer if at all possible, okay? This kind of freezer is just, here, I'll show you. It's just this kind of pull out kind of freezer. It has almost like no space in there. As you can see, we got mostly food, and that little pocket right there where you see the little greens and stuff is that's all we got. So if you have a deep freezer, or if you have access to somebody that has a deep freezer, like, make them your best friend and tell them that you love them and bring them cake, okay? Because you really need it, especially in the middle of a pandemic. If you can store any milk that you can, do what you can. So room temperature, you want to be able to store your milk, and I think I have some up here, just a little bit left, so, you know, whatever have you. Room temperature, you just want to be able to store this up to like 4 hours or so. If you're just going to leave it outside, room temperature on the counter or something like that. If you're going to put it in the refrigerator, 4 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Fahrenheit in your fridge. That's about what my fridge is, about 38 or whatever have you. Ideal up to 4 days. In a regular freezer like this one, you want to be able to get this milk used within 6 months. I know that I'm probably not going to do all of that because previously the reason why you wanted to store all of your milk in a freezer is because you knew you were going to be going back to work. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here because I can work from home when I actually do return from maternity leave in December, okay? So even still though, I'm still going to store my milk, and I have up to 6 months or so like that to make sure that it's used, donated, something. But if you have a chest freezer or a deep freezer, even if it's a stand-up, like my in-laws have a nice stand-up freezer that they have in their basement, even if you have that kind of freezer, you can store that milk for up to a year, okay? And if you are like me and hopefully planning, last time, Julia, I didn't make it to free breastfeeding for a year. That boy bit me and that was it. I was done with that, okay? My sister-in-law laughs at me all the time and tries to tell me, no, you just have to do a little thump or something like that. And I'm like, nah, I've been to throw my baby across the room because I don't play that biting stuff. So if you have a deep freezer or chest freezer, or at least access to one, you got a good mama or something like that, and they say, yeah, girl, you can use my freezer, go ahead and use it. And again, don't be all messy like me. I really need to repackage this a little bit better, but package your milk in the bags and nice and flat or whatever have you, so that you'll know that you got some space. This is probably a nicer example of how you should pack your bags or whatever have you. how you should pack them in there, and how you should pack them in your Ziplocs, okay? And then, like, I'm going to go ahead and end up letting you all go. I hope that you have been comfortable, cool, found some use in everything that I shared. Clearly, I'm trying to show you. Let me see if I can hold it all, or at least get it in the camera span. I know what I'm talking about. So, the pump is your best friend, okay? That's the best thing that I can tell you. The pump is your best friend, and this is my proof, okay? All the tinctures, all of the stuff in the world that you need, yes, it's gonna help you. You can do the fenugreek, you can do all of it, but nothing is going to work as well. See, I'm struggling. Nothing is going to work as well as getting yourself on the pump. I'm gonna look through real quick to see if I have any questions that I missed. If I missed your question, if you need to ask me, go ahead and ask me now. Remember also that, like, anything and everything, I have this like this? No, that looks stupid. Anything and everything that I use is also what has helped me. Okay, so nothing is tried and true for anybody. I could just tell you, like, what works for me. Thank you. I breastfed my son for 13 months. He's 4 now. I'm getting ready to do it all over. Yes, you are. I know you're getting ready to have a baby girl too. So yes, if you have any questions, again, I'm not a certified lactation consultant. I'm not a medical professional, but I'm always willing to share my help as much as possible. Can I show the pump again? Yes, I can. I'm always willing to share my help as much as possible. And I just believe in helping. And, like, shout out to all of, my non-moms of color and whatnot, but more of us need to be breastfeeding, okay? I know that a lot of people choose to stay away from breastfeeding. Sometimes people choose to stay away from it because, they're afraid that it's gonna kind of turn your husband off, and it's, just not your thing or anything like that. Or they're afraid of kind of adapting to that whole slave mentality thing. Some people really have a thing about it. Like, I don't want to be like no wet nurse or anything like that. It's whatever, whatever you choose, whatever your reason. But if you can, make the commitment to go ahead and do that. Okay. So here is the pump that I use. I'm just going to disconnect the system. As you can see, it has a night light on it. I already showed you that. You press it here, but I'm just going to disconnect it real quick so you can see it a little bit more closely. This is the Spectra. It, for whatever reason, does not say S2 on it, but it is the S2. Okay. It's awesome. I will rehook it real quick. Let's see if my cord is long enough. I have like a whole system here set up, y'all. You want to power it on like that. It sounds like that right now because it's got the whatchamacallit disconnected. It has this little cool thing right here that allows you to, like, just use like single pumping. So it is a dual pump, but you can't single pump. Sometimes for a while, like, sometimes I was like just single pumping, mostly because I had lost my last backflow protector, but whatever. It is a closed system. That is my number one thing. I think it was Brianna that asked about it. This is a closed system, Brianna. So it has a pull like no other. It can go all the way up to 12 as far as the pull. And you can hear that thing. It's got a strong pull. It is one of the few, like, lower name brand pumps, I guess you could say, like, not as popular as Medela is basically what I'm saying, that claims to have a hospital grade pull. And it is absolutely, for me as a person who has oversupplied and oversupplies pretty regularly, the absolute truth. And you're saying, yes, is the S2 better than the S1? Personally, I cannot actually say that the S2 is better than S1 because I've never used the S1 before. I've actually always heard that there is virtually no difference between the S1 and the S2. That's what I've heard. Your insurance is the S1. No, not for me. For me, this was the one that the insurance sent for me. So my first pregnancy, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the Medela. It's gonna be awesome. It was trash. That Medela is long gone in the trash somewhere. Milk flow into the dang on pump all the time. Like, and then if you know anything about pumps, you can't send it back. Once you've opened it, you just have to suffer through it. Again, saying one more time in case you missed earlier, a lot of people do not know that your insurance, I know specifically when I had Blue Cross Blue Shield through my job, your insurance can sometimes offer you 2 calendar year two pumps within a calendar year per pregnancy. So if you just need to hop on over and call them and say, hey, I need another pump. No, you ain't got to necessarily, I ain't telling you to lie or anything like that. But if you're just saying like you want to know whether or not they will offer you 2 pumps, go ahead and ask them if you can do it. And if you have the ability to give you the S2, they can. So I know yours. I think you said that the S1 maybe what your insurance provides. Just check to see what your insurance provides. This time I kept my S2 from my last pregnancy, and this time I noticed. I guess I have better insurance this time. I got the Freemie this time, and I don't even have the cup in front of me. The reason why this Freemie is pretty awesome, you can charge it. It takes like an Android point charger for those of you who love Android. It takes an Android pump charger, and you just power it on, change the suction. Now, I would say this is not nearly as strong as this. So this for me is like quick relief when I don't feel like walking downstairs to this pump, or out. This is gonna be, I guess you could say, my out and on the go kind of pump. But this right here, this is the one that you want. Okay, Medela is not your friend. You don't like her, whatever have you. And I see someone else saying, my insurance sent me the Medela. Okay, so LaDonna, try to see if they will give you a choice, because at least these days, I guess it depends on your insurance, but try to see if they will give you a choice. No insurance that I know of for the most part should be forcing you unless that's the only one that they have. But if they offer a choice, don't feel shamed about asking the question and saying like, hey, what choices are available to me? I happened to look on there, and that's how I discovered that the Freemie was available to me. And like previously, you could not get the Freemie under your insurance. For those of you who don't know what's good about the Freemie, it is also a dual pump system. I currently have it set as a single pump because I don't have the second tube that goes right here or whatever have you. But the good thing about this one is that it's good for on the go. It's rechargeable, so you don't have to be attached to a cord or a wall outlet. And then you can just take the cup and slip it right inside of your nursing bra and go. Okay, it holds up. The cup holds up to 8 ounces or whatever have you. So it is literally, just as powerful as sitting at a bottle. And of course, like, you will find that maybe for you, it will be just the right amount of suction and pull that you need. For me, it's not enough. I have to get to the Spectra because I just have a lot of milk that I have to or this is the only thing that like completely empties me. My baby does not empty me at this point just yet, and neither does this pump. But I have found it to be useful for like in a stitch when you just don't feel like walking down. When I don't feel like walking down here, because this is my little station in my little family room. This is where I keep it. This is where it stays. It doesn't go upstairs. It doesn't go all over the house or anything like that. Whenever I need to pump, I just walk down here. Okay. I also, again, like the Spectra just because like it has pump parts that you can get off Amazon very easily. I showed this earlier or whatever have you. This is the pump part system by Maymom that I buy when I run out of parts, because I sit at the pump for so long. I don't ever really have to replace the flanges or anything like that. Let me tell you the pieces that I always got to replace. That right there. You see that? That's called a duck bill. The duck bill, when you notice that they start to have an opening in them, that's when you know they're no longer good. You have to throw them away. Now, they will tell you for sanitization's purpose, because you cannot sterilize those like with boiling heat. You can only like basically wash them out with like, water, bleach, that kind of thing, solution. You can't sterilize them. So you'll run through them. I run through them pretty quickly, but because it's so easy to get everything on Amazon, again, this is your best pump. Okay, it's gonna be your best thing. Medela isn't allowing you to produce as much as you want. Yeah, definitely not gonna be your best friend, Christian. If you could get to a Spectra, another thing, the whole pump actually is available, Christian, on the actual Amazon site, okay? And it is, I don't even have my phone on me, I can't look it up, but somebody look it up on Amazon really quickly. You could get this actual pump on there pretty quickly. My sister-in-law ended up wanting to have like, she still wanted a Spectra, but she ended up going with like one that works kind of like the freebie because she could take it with her and just kind of go. And that one is the S9. And I think it costs like a couple $100. I don't have that one, but for the most part, I'm mentioning that to say that the Spectra, for the most part, is less expensive than the Medela, and it's better. Okay, I don't care if y'all go and run and tell Medela on me. Send them after me if they want to, and it's because unless they gonna pay any of my bills, I'm very strongly against Medela. So go and check out the Spectra. Call your insurance to see if they'll send you another one, because a lot of times, again, people don't know that your insurance will actually provide you two per pregnancy in the same calendar year. Again, $159.99. Thank you. Is that the cost of the whole Spectra, Jasmine? Is that the cost of this is the S2? Is that's this pump or a different one? She says it's on Amazon. And I think she's saying that that's the cost of this one. So $100, we can spend $200 like very easily on a pair of clothes. Make the investment in yourself and in your baby, okay? And she says yes, the pink and the blue. So both the Spectra S1 and the S2. And I think I saw somebody ask me what was the difference between the S1 and S2. I don't know, but I've heard there's virtually no difference. It may be the nightlight. That may be the difference. If I ever need to go back on here and go live again, if somebody has more questions, or if you just want me to find it out for you, you could just message me later. I'll try to see. Okay, so I'm not going to Spectra Baby US. Oh, and Jasmine put the link in the comments. Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate that. If you have questions or something like that, if you want to message me to the side, say something here below. I'll be more than happy to help answer your questions. Again, just as long as you know I am not a certified lactation consultant. I have dreams, aspirations of being one particular day. I seriously hope it's been super helpful. One more time, y'all. The Spectra is your very best friend. Sunflower lecithin, if you do happen to oversupply, is your very best friend. Gatorade is your absolute best friend. That is if you didn't learn anything else from this video, that is my get quick fix. This is my very happy, very fast. You want to increase your supply right now. Yesterday, almost Gatorade. If you just needed to skip to the end, go right there. Sona, hey boo. Oh my gosh, I love you. I miss you. I love you, Sona. Sona's the oversupplier too, and the most amazing doula. She wouldn't be my doula because she was in retirement and stuff like that when I had my baby, but that's okay. Reach out to me if you need. Milky Mama is your friend. Medela is not your friend. I just gotta keep saying that. Medela is not your friend. Does it have to be powder? Okay, I still have questions. Does it have to be powder? Christian, what do you mean? What have to be powder? Oh, the Gatorade. No. But I have heard that people say that the Gatorade powder is maybe more concentrated, so they feel like it works better for them. Did you want to be in the background? Yes, he is. But if you go back to the earlier part of my video, and I will post it, this video has become very long at this point. But if you go back for the Gatorade, Christian, this worked just fine. I mentioned earlier when I first started talking about Gatorade that I would put these in the freezer or whatever have you. Quite by mistake, I discovered that Gatorade is a powerful, we call these galactagogues, okay? Galactagogues are the things that you can use as a supplement to help you build your milk supply quickly. So I discovered that Gatorade is a galactagogue quite by accident. And again, it was because my husband was trying to hide some Gatorade for himself in the freezer. But see, God won't let me, God will remind him very quickly that we are one in this thing. So he had to share. So I went and found what he was trying to hide. Oh God. And I ended up discovering that there was that. I guess he bought the powdered form, just because, like, I guess he figured like I was going to run through a lot of Gatorade. He didn't want to have to buy these. He says that these were, this was cheaper. And again, I have heard from some people that the powdered form of electrolyte powder, Gatorade, whatever have you, can work a little bit better, can work a little bit faster, quickly. I actually mentioned earlier in the video that I noticed, I thought my husband had made some Kool-Aid, and it was the blue Gatorade. I thought it was Kool-Aid the whole time, and I noticed, like, why the heck am I getting full so fast? It had picked up my supply just like that. So, Christian, it may be something to it, or whatever have you. Do you worry about the sugar content? Because I'm not a diabetic or anything like that. No, I don't. I don't worry about the sugar content. I guess you could say I don't worry about it any more than I worry about anything else. I still make sure that I'm looking over here because I'm looking for it. I always have my bottle of water right next to me. Water, I should be saying, because breast milk is like 90% water. Water is still an incredible, important thing that you need to have in your diet, of course, too. So, I'm not really a water drinker too much. Like, I do chunk on like water and ice all day in the same cup. I have a cup that's like, like this tall or something like that from Walmart. So drink your water, of course. I gotta say that. Drink your water. But Gatorade, okay? Gatorade is your friend, okay? Definitely let me know if you feel like you see a difference between the powdered version versus the bottled version. Again, I like to make these like slushies and put them in the freezer, so they are just really good. They easily go down. Again, one more time, use these, heat them up, put them inside your bra, do your pumping Olympics or whatever have you while you massage, manipulate, maneuver. And if you don't do nothing else, again, aside of Gatorade, but also pump. You have to pump. Please don't forget to pump. Okay, I'm done talking. I promise. I'll probably have been talking for like 2 hours at this point now. I don't even know. But reach me if you have questions or if you need additional help or if you just like have a question you want to ask on live or something like that. That's all the magic that I have for you. That's literally all that I do. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope it was able to help somebody. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night, guys. And again, message me or say something in the comments below. Actually, if you message me, I won't see that you messaged me because if you're not my friend on Facebook, I won't know it. But if you are not my friend, just say something below and then say, hey, I'm going to message you and I'll look for your message. Okay? Have a good night, guys. Thanks so much.